What's up, guys? My name's Doofus Mcdooface, and this is Tier 5s of the Legion TD2 unit tier list. Without further ado, let's get into it. Antler sucks. Now, I was just thinking about it. I was thinking about Antler with the Aura White main and comparing it like mentally. Just I'm not giving like my answers to all these other units. I was just thinking about it. The White main Aura kind of sucks nowadays. Like it used to be like amazing for gates. Like you'd get like antler gates and you thought you won the game. But I just don't think that's really the case anymore. And although I think it's a unit I use a lot when I see hero in the game, right? Like if I have antler and I see hero, then even if I have like marginal units that aren't great with it, you know, like some Zerkers or I mean, you can't really do a Phoenix, some Mudmans or something, some just like tanky units. I might use the white main plus the hero. So there are circumstances where I think the unit can be good, but I really just don't think the aura is it anymore. Just you're never gonna start Antler. You shouldn't start Antler. You really shouldn't start Antler, in my opinion. Um, is it an okay unit? Absolutely, but I don't think it's not S. It's not A. I think I'm gonna start it at the B. Um, for me, it's like close to the C. Like it'd be on the lower B tier. Um, it's just your basic impact natural unit, you know. I think most games I'd rather just go with like a warg or bucklers, just the cheap spammy units instead of like a big white main. I've even had people like I'll have like antler and Trents, and I use the Trents on other things on that white main aura, and people are like, why don't you like Tree of Life the white main? Which I get it, it has a large health pool, but it's just not doing any damage. Like yes, it is a tank. Maybe it's worth putting the Tree of Life on the white main because of how high its health pool is, but I don't know. I'm just not sold on Antler. Um, just not. Yeah, I don't believe I've ever started it this season. That would be crazy if I have. Yeah, haven't started this season. How low are we gonna go here? Probably 50%. I would assume it's at my 50% win rate. Antler 51%, and white main. Unless I missed it, it can't be this far off. Wow, a 7% differential when I place white main. When I upgrade to white main, I lose 7% more often. That is insane. Maybe. Wow, and look at how low it is. It is my 8th most losingest unit. My 8th most losingest unit. So let's change it to C tier. I might move it back up to B depending on the other outcomes, but it's just an average unit. What do you guys think? Is the white main aura actually worth it? Maybe if you have like the Butcher, you have the Ocean Templar, and you're going for like the God combo. But with Chieftain Cheese not being that strong, white main just isn't it anymore, right? All those combos that used to be so strong with white main, they're not it. So Berserker. I like the Berserker. I've been using it a lot more. I'm gonna go right into A tier. I've been using Berserker with any aura, any really unit combo. Like honestly, like Butcher for Berserker. That ramping damage is still really nice. It's a good tank, decent damage. I don't want to place it on wave 14 as my only piercing damage, but I've been doing that a lot lately. And it doesn't go great, but it doesn't go bad. You can pair Zerkers with Sea Dragons. You can pair it with Ocean Templar. All those auras, right? APS. I don't think I have APS to Zerker this season, though. I'm not a big APS guy. Yeah, I'm not a huge APS guy. But if you did pair it with APS, and then maybe you got like Pulverizer or something like that, or Divine Blessing, like that thing would just go like supersonic speed. Um, but yeah, Zerker into Fatalizer. Fatalizer covers your wave 10. Fadas are amazing. Wave 13, even wave 15, I think they're pretty decent. If you can get the Fadas on the boss, ramping on the big Quadrupus, not too bad. Decent tank 16. Wave 18, really good. Wave 20, still amazing. You have like 8 or 9 Phaedas. You should be able to hold Wave 20, theoretically, given you don't receive like 3,000 Mythium. Yeah, not a lot of downsides to Berserker. You can start it. I'm sure if I check my stats right here, I've probably started it with like a 58% win rate. All right, I was wrong. All right, I'm really wrong. Unless I haven't started it. Oh my god. Okay, I've only done it 3 times. Oh my goodness, I'm really bad with it. Oh my goodness, I'm really bad with it. Okay, I still think Berserker is pretty good. Just because I've had some bad games with it bad games in totality. Recently, I feel like I've been playing it pretty well. So I like Berserker. I'm gonna keep Berserker in the A spot. Where's Fatalizer? Is it higher or lower? It is a little bit higher, 49.5. Still think it's good. I'm not gonna change up my placing based off my statistics. I think Berserker's in a good spot. That ramping damage is just crazy. If you can correctly place it, it's good. It's solid. And you get a couple of buffs on it, also pretty solid. Disciple. I feel like I choose Disciple in almost all of my roles. Sorry, I'm going to look at my stats real quick. I don't. Okay. I was thinking that Disciple was going to be one of my top chose units. I guess it's pick rate, right? Pick rate would show it. Disciple is a 78%er. It's a 78%er. Sorry, I was using statistics first. I feel like I go with Disciple so often. I want to put it in S tier, but I'm not sure I can. I'm not sure I legally can put Disciple in S tier. But the combinations are crazy, right? Like if you have Steeds, crazy. If you have Magician, crazy. Crab Warlocks right now, right? Crazy. There's just so many things that are good with Disciple that I feel like it is an S tier unit. Like for now, I'm just gonna put an S tier. I feel like even if you have no other mana units, you have 0 mana units outside of Disciple, Starcaller circles bang, bro. I don't know how many games I've lost to like an Aviator or a Richard, and all they had was Starcaller circles. And then you accidentally send Wave 18, and it doesn't matter if you send 2 or 3 Krakens. Those Disciples just, they cream the wave. They just go absolutely crazy. So I think because it's a great standalone unit, which is for S, right? S for standalone. I think it's fine up there, dude. I think Disciple in the S tier is great. Disciple plus Starcaller, I mean, it's just busted. I feel pretty confident about that. And we have our win rate, which is really juicy, right? I mean, it's a juicy win rate right there. In my top 10, top 12-ish, they're right next to each other. So they're actually the most consistent pairing I think we've seen in all of the tier lists. I don't think any 2 units have had that consistency, right? They're both 58.6, even though there's a differential of like 20, 30 games played, right? Pretty good at the 58.6%. No issues with Disciple, no issues with Starcaller. I think they're a great unit, and I'm going to choose them most of the games I play, right? I mean, think about it. You could start it, won't recommend. If you have like some type of magic unit like Flower or Green Devil, you could shift Wave 3 and get one on 4. It'll help you kill the boss on Wave 5. Wave 6, it's great. Wave 7, it's your piercing damage if you don't have any. Wave 8, help you kill GK or big tanks they send. It's even decent Wave 9. Wave 10, of course, it's great. A couple of Disciples or a Starcaller. I mean, it really just doesn't have that many weaknesses, right? It's a great unit. I'm going S. Gun. I'm not sure about gun here. Because, like, I've played so few gun games this season that I'm not sure that I can properly put it where it deserves. For me, it's an A or B. I'm gonna put it B right now. For me, it's A or B. Super countered by Seadrams, right? Seadrams, of course, counter it. Positioning is very important. Especially now that, like, you could still have it tank, but it doesn't have to tank. I feel like it was A tier, and then because they nerfed the damage, where if the units were closer, it did more damage. If they're farther, it does less damage. I think because they made it more of a dumbed down unit, which is easier to play, which is good for everybody else, but not at the higher levels, you know. I think I'm gonna go B. It's just really hard to get that perfect split. I think if you played gun enough, you could definitely put it in A tier. But because this is my personal list, I think B tier is where it belongs. I just don't see it in A tier. Definitely not in S tier, but it's nowhere near C tier. I feel like it's B for get better. I need to get better with gun. Vulcan is great for wave 10. I see so many times people shift for the Vulcan for a wave 9. They receive an ogre and leak. So even though it's an upgraded tier 5, it's probably one of the worst to leak like wave 9. And that's kind of problematic. I guess a doppelganger too sometimes, but not as easily as gun. Yeah, I like B right now. Let's check our stats. I can't imagine it's much over 50%. And I can't imagine I have more than 10 games opened with it. Holy moly, it's low. Yeah. It is. It is much lower than I thought here. Holy smokes. 45%. 3 and 5. Oh my goodness. 3 and 5 when I start with it. Yeah. Now I will say, in defense of gun lovers, wait, where's Vulcan? Yeah. Damn, look at how low that is. Holy smokes. Where's Vulcan? Is Vulcan that much higher, or am I crazy? Vulcan is another 51.7. This is crazy, dude. Statistics are crazy. Another 6% higher. 6% higher win rate when I get a Vulcan. That's absolutely absurd. I guess upgrading units can, like, help you win games. Or, in the Antler's case, upgrading units can help you lose games. That's wild. Yeah, I just feel like for me, positioning with gun isn't as beneficial anymore. Yeah, you can still have it tank, but it really doesn't benefit you. And those ranged waves are it's just so hard to get those ranged waves perfect. Where it's tanking a couple of creeps, but also damaging the like back left units that are back there towards the back of the wave entrance or the cave entrance, wave, whatever. Yeah, I like it at B. I'm not changing it. Nightmare, Butcher, best combo in the game. But you have to think this isn't with auras, right? This isn't with auras, so can I really put Nightmare in S tier as the basic unit? Just Nightmare going in S tier. This is a tough one. I really want to put it in S tier. Like, if I had to play the same role every game, it would probably be Nightmare Butcher, right? Whenever I would do double lock-ins, I usually go Nightmare Butcher. Especially if you got Vampire in the game. I think I'm going to go A, guys. I think I'm going to go A, but let's put it in front of the Berserker. I think Nightmare by itself is A tier. There's so many ways that you can make it work. Tree of Life, Ocean Templar, even Sea Dragons is a little crazy. Even just having tanks in front of it, you just gotta hope it doesn't die, right? And that's probably why it's A tier, right? Because whenever it suicides and just runs forwards, you go for A, right? If it didn't go like full suicide every time you really need it to not, I think it would be S tier. But maybe just because of the fact that we've all experienced Doppel on the wall, safely protected, dying first or second or third, in the most important wave 12. You get a wave 12 send, you've got Nightmare Butcher, you're feeling so safe you didn't send, and then you leak because your doppelganger died so quickly. And so for that reason, I think A is good. This unit has the most potential, I think. Without a doubt, I think this unit would be like S plus tier. If you had the like best combos. Like if we were to like make this tier the best possible unit, right? Like if it had the best possible combination, like Halo had double flying force, plus APS plus Starcaller and Steeds. You know, if Poda had Chieftain Cheese and Steeds, if this had Ocean Templar, White Mane, and AP, like if everybody had the maximums, I think I probably would have Nightmare at the top, just because that ramping damage, right? If you had all the auras plus Pulverizer, I think this thing would just go hypergalactic, right? But this is just the base unit, right? This is just the base unit. I think we're probably gonna be like 56%. Nope. All right. I need to work on some of my gameplay. 54%. That's pretty close. And 61% when I started. Wow. 61% when I started. That is impressive. Doppelganger at 53%. So a little bit, only a 0.8% differential. Damn, that's crazy. 19 and 9 Fire Elemental, 68%. I'm trying to see with games played, 66. So at 61%, 31 games played. It has, what the heck? Why is Polly 63%? That's wild. It has the third most games played of highest win rates. So I mean, Nightmare is pretty solid. It's a pretty solid unit. Of course, you'd love to have the auras. You'd love to have Nightmare Butcher, or Tree of Life, or Ocean Templar, any aura to really like let it cook and have some type of defense for when it gets attacked and already is doubling its damage, right? That ramping damage that it does is crazy. Yeah, I love Nightmare, but just can't put it in the S tier. Poda, it's gonna break some hearts, guys. Poda's not S tier anymore. They've really hurt Poda, in my opinion. Priestess of the Abyss, Aeria, it's just not as strong anymore. All the changes, they've made so many nerfs to her, man. There's so many nerfs to Poda lately. This is one where I would really like to use Drakbot. I'd really like to see the numbers because I just can't assume that Poda is going to be that high. I can't assume it's going to be like one of the better units anymore. Of course, with the proper setup, Poda Mask, even Poda Ranger, Poda and Steeds, you can still do great work with it. You can still do great things with Poda. But I just don't put her in S tier. Like I think A tier is okay, and we'll look at my stats. Putting Poda in B tier feels bad. I don't think I'll do that. B for bad. We don't do that. I think Poda's A, but on the lower end. I just haven't been choosing her a lot lately, and people are like, "What's going on? What's just all the nerfs, man?" Like, she used to be so amazing, and I just feel like they continually nerf her, right? Like her spell only generates like what 100 HP and a little bit of percentage, where before it was like all percentage based, so she can't heal as much from the bottom, so you can't do as crazy of splitting. I feel like her attack speed is gone. Like I feel like it's just nerf, right? It's like about a year ago, Sovereign and Holy Avenger just kept getting nerfed, even when it was already not that good of a unit, and they just keep nerfing and nerfing and nerfing and nerfing. And I think the problem is just because of how busted she is with Chieftain Cheese and Classic, and so I think she sort of gets the raw end of the what is it? The raw end of the deal. The burnt end of the stick, something like that. Whatever the heck that thing is, I don't know what it is. She gets the burn end of the stick because people are abusing her in like tower defense mode in classics. I feel like that sort of leaks onto ranked. I'm being honest. I think that because of how good she can be with Chieftain Cheese in classics, it leaks over to ranked games because I think these nerfs are a bit absurd. Yeah, opening win rate, it's bad, 42%. 19 and 26, 48% overall. Not good anymore, man. She's just not that good anymore. I'm just not playing her that. Wait, what was the pick rate? I can't imagine the pick rate is over 50% anymore. 61. That used to be in the 80s and the 90s. One of my top units. Nah. Nowadays, it's like, I don't know. I mean, of course, I want her for 15. Maybe a 13 and 20. There's just not not as many times where I'm really thinking of going to her. It's unfortunate, but it's just the way it is, you know. Honestly, I think I've made my decision. Let's see Aeria. Where's the Aeria, man? Am I crazy? There's Poda. Aeria down at 47. So they're pretty close, 47, 48. Yep. I've made my decision. B. B for bitch. Poda, just not in anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She's not. She is not it anymore. Halo, S tier. Now, I might drop this to A tier. This is a bit wild. But I feel like Halo just covers so many of those important waves. I feel like Halo, not starting, but throughout the entirety of the game, I think Halo is amazing, right? Like, I wouldn't recommend starting Halo. But let's think it through. When is Halo good? 1 through 4, eh. If you're able to shift for Wave 5, it would incinerate the boss. You can tank the boss in Wave 5. Wave 6, it's of course amazing. Wave 7, you would think it's pretty bad. But I've been placing it on Wave 7 a lot lately. When you go for a Hellraiser on 6, right? So now your Hellraiser's on Tantrum for Wave 7, and then you drop a Halo. So if they do, and this actually happened, I don't know if I could find the game quick enough. They send me a mole on Wave 7. And you know what happened? I perfectly fiested. Only leaked the mole. Actually, no, I held. Yeah, I held. Now that I think about it, I kind of want to find that game. Let's see if I can find that game really quick. But I'll keep talking. No chance I can find it, right? I played way too many games. Man, I play so many games. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Yeah, with the Halo, the reason I'm going S tier, it's really good on 7. Like, if you're trying to kill a big Sen, a Mimic, a Mole, a bunch of Brutes, that Halo will incinerate it. Wave 8, it can tank a couple of creeps. Also kills big tanks because a lot of people send moles or dinos or a GK on Wave 8. An ogre, sometimes they'll send an ogre, but that would be, you don't want that ogre on your Halo. Wave 9, it's fortified. It's also like decent damage to the creeps. Wave 10, it's great. Like it's an answer for Wave 10. Wave 11, it's also fortified. It can tank, especially if you go for the Arc of Justice. I mean, I didn't mean to show off here, but look at this. Look at how good I am with Halo. And I've never started it. Haven't done any starts with it. I don't recommend starting it. A 60% win rate, and look at how close they are. 59.8, 59.6. How the hell is Sovereign that high for me? Sorry, got distracted. Halo, man. I'm telling you, Halo for me is busted. I really do like Halo. There's very few waves where it's not good. Wave 16, it's terrible, right? Wave 16 is probably its worst wave in the whole game. Wave 12, it's even kind of decent because it's a fortified tank, right? Not good, but it's not terrible. I think Wave 16 is its only really bad game in the late game, right? After Wave 4, I'd say 5 through 20 minus Wave 16, Halo's good. Just like Disciple, right? There's not really weak waves. Like, of course, there's waves where it's not superior, but it's at least average. And then some waves, it's amazing. So I like Halo. I didn't even talk about the auras. The main aura is going to be just Leviathan, right? You want Flying Force. But you could pair it with Starcaller. You could use just Magician Halos, right? Let's say you don't have an aura, but Legion spell is Magician. Bam, Halos. You go for 2 or 3 Halos with the Magician, and you're good. You're getting maximum output by then. Steeds, of course. Like, there's a lot of juicers. A lot of juicers. I like Halo. Hope you guys do too. Badger. I mean, Badger for B, right? Just sort of take the cheap route and go Badger for B. Now, let's think this through. Badger is your biggest arcane tank. I believe it has the highest HP in the game when you go for the Iron Scales. Doomsday might have more. They're close. It might be Doomsday. But it's one of the highest HP tanks in the game. Tree of Lifing it for 14 and 15 is just insane. When you Tree of Life and Iron Scales for wave 14 or 15, I really have learned my lesson. I had a couple of games where we would still send wave 15 after seeing like 3 Iron Scales and Trents placed. and then they'd go for like two Tree of Life Iron Scales. Unleakable. Unleakable to like a 1,000, 1,200 cent, right? It's really troublesome. It's really troublesome to send those Tree of Life Iron Scales. Now they're just purely tanks, right? They don't really do any damage. Like they're honestly, that might have the lowest DPS in the game. It's probably not the lowest DPS in the game, but it's not good. It's not good DPS. Great tank. Get your wave 20s. You could even place them on wave 18 just because of how high the HP is. I've done that before. I've seen a lot of high elo players do it as well. It's your wave 7 and 8 defense. Just don't get mimicked. Even brutes really don't matter into them because they're not doing any damage. Like the brutes will take them down a little faster, but it's not a huge problem, right? I really like B. I think B, being just simply a tank, right? I think B is a good place. I think B is a good place. Let's just check our stats here. I can't imagine it's gonna be that great. I don't think I've ever opened it, but let's just check just to fool around. Nah, I don't think I've ever opened it. If I did open it, it was as a joke. Right. Where are we at here? It's not gonna be that low, is it? Yeah, right there. 52, like it's your average guy. 52%, no opens. I choose it half of the time. Nothing too crazy. It's a good tank, with Ocean Templar or White Mane, could be pretty good. Surprised that Iron Scale is actually lower here. This much lower? Wow. Yeah, 3% lower on Iron Scales. It's pretty solid. It's a pretty solid tank. Like I'm not gonna say it's great. I'm not gonna say it's bad. It's an average, middle of the row B tank, but it is your highest arcane tank, HP wise, right? So if you get some crazy stuff like Tree of Life on that, it can be amazing tank, right? It can be an amazing tank. It's average. Yozora. This used to be really good, specifically with like Sea Dragon, but I don't know if it's just because of Wave 6. I feel like Wave 6 changes since they ramp has made Yozora not as good. You place a Yozora on your Wave 6 back in the day, you hold, right? She could almost single-handedly hold Wave 6. I'm not making that up. I wish I could find a video of that. Yozora Wave 6 almost fully holds. Nowadays, it's like her versus 3 creeps, and she's doing no damage, and she dies. And you're thinking you've got a God Fiesta with Yozora, and you don't. And that sort of hurts my heart a little bit. So I'm thinking about A or B. It's definitely never S. I think I'm going to let the statistics decide this one. Arc Tear's dodge is way better. I will say the upgrade is way better. Unfortunately, I learned that after Nova Cup. Me and L1 played Nova Cup this year. We had a Wave 20 King race. L1 had a Spectral Scallywag that was Protectored, that he was chieftaining, and he asked me, should I continue chieftaining this on Wave 20, or do I place a brand new Arc Tear, right? A Yozora upgraded to Arc Tear, and chieftain that? I thought the Scallywag was better. Massive mistake, because it had the Protector value as well. Massive mistake. We lost that game. L1 sandboxed it. I sandboxed it. The Arc Tear never even dies. It's crazy. So with that high HP pool plus the dodges that it has, right, can dodge. It could dodge infinitely, or it could never dodge, right? It's one of those RNG ones. I want to go A, but I also want to go B. I'm gonna go A for a second, but like this is like a B++, right? It's wild to see Yozora above Poda, but I think this is where it belongs. I think I'm actually good with it in A. Yeah, it's not gonna do much damage. It's decent to place on 7, on 6. It's terrible Wave 5. It's an okay opener if you've got Sea Dragons or Gargoyles, or Pilgrim, right? Pilgrim for your Wave 5 defense. There are certainly good waves with it. There are certainly good waves with it. Terrible 9, great 10, terrible 12, not really good 11, amazing 13, average 14, average 15. Right there, 52%. Yeah. but 58% when I open it. 58% when I open it does make me feel good. But once again, the Arctear is actually below it. 48% with Arctear. Does that make me put it in B? Or do I stay? No, I think I'm keeping with my beliefs. I think I'm keeping with my beliefs here. I'm going Yozora in A. It's a damn good tank, especially with Sea Dragons. You get some auras on it. Arctear does have a lot of HP pool. It's a good tank. You can spam them in overtime, right? Although I haven't been spamming them a lot in overtime. I'm more of a damage guy a lot of the time. I still think Arctear for me, plus Yozora is A. What do you guys think? Is my list right here good? Is Antler really C tier? Or did I put it too low? Or should it be D tier? No, we're not going to go D tier. Is Poda on B tier way too low? And are my S tiers too high? Is Disciple and Halo? I think Disciple and Halo definitely are S tier. Maybe there's a world where Nightmare should be A tier, but like I said, if you have absolutely zero auras, zero things to benefit it, I don't think it's as good. All right, so I think S tier is just a little too high for the base unit. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tier list. I hope I'm not too far off. Please let me know what you guys have thought. I will drop the link so you guys can create your own tier list of this if you would like. And please like and comment. And I will see you guys in the final tier 6 very soon. Have a good one, guys.